So this is part two. This is Dr. Don Michael talking about my story of going into the hospital and how I lost my husband, Dr. Abilio Ramos. Please watch part one so that you can get the full story. So I'm at the point where I am in the hospital. I was rolled in and it was 12 o'clock at night. They gave me a bunch of medications. The next day, medications. It's interesting how they come in early in the morning. They don't tell you what they're giving you. So I don't know when that started happening where they don't actually tell you what medications you're having. And they never really went over a great medical history with me. Actually, somebody did, so I'm kind of confused as to why they were giving me some of the medications. So the doctor comes in. This is the same doctor that is treating my husband, who's known my husband for about 20 years. His name is Dr. Graham. He's a hospitalist at Los Robles Hospital in Thousand Oaks, California. So he comes in and I ask him, like, what medications are you giving me? And he says he's giving me REM, he's giving me a steroid, he's giving me a blood thinner, and an antibiotic. And I said to him, why are you giving me an antibiotic, which I've already had and finished? Why are you giving me REM when I've already had the sickness for 5 days? And he kind of looked shocked and I don't know why he looked shocked, or it's like he was caught or something. I don't know. He's like, oh yeah, well, it becomes, it's not good. It's not good in your system. You have to use it the first 5 days. I'm like, what? My husband, you've given it to him for 5 days already, and he had the sickness like 7 days prior. And I'm thinking to myself, they just poisoned my husband, and he knows it. Like, they know it. They're complicit in this. This is what's so crazy. I mean, and I have to ask myself, what's wrong with these people? I mean, he knew my husband for 20 years and has been treating his patients. He knows how to treat my husband. He knows how to treat me, but he uses this hospital protocol in which people are dying from every day. So what does that say about the doctors? Are they getting a kickback? I wonder, because it just seems so unreal. It also almost reminds me of Nazi Germany, where maybe these people knew the Jews who were their neighbors, but they're told to do this a certain way, so they just do it. I mean, I'm sorry, but they're complicit. There is no excuse for it. Anyway, he stopped giving me the REM and the antibiotic. I continued with the steroid, which I later found out is not a good steroid. It's not strong enough. It's kind of like, what's the point of giving it? You're giving a really weak steroid when the steroid really could help with the inflammation. Then the other shocking thing is he comes back and he says, well, we got your x-ray back. And I go, okay. He goes, you have COVID pneumonia. I said, what? He goes, well, you have CO, the sickness, but you have no pneumonia. I said, okay, I don't have pneumonia. He said, no. I go, but you're putting it down as sickness pneumonia. He said, yes. So there you go. Another thing they're doing that they're probably collecting money on. So it doesn't make any sense. And then I'm wondering, since you didn't test me, I mean, I guess there's inflammation in my chest. Are there different strains of this, or do they present themselves a different way? But there was no talking to him about this. It was just, this is what you have, and these are the medications we give you, and it doesn't matter if they work or not, basically. And then he says to me, well, you're pretty much fine. You can leave in 3 days. I don't think they wanted me there. I think at this point they realized that I was a very awake patient and they really wanted me to leave. But my husband, bless his soul, he was either very worried about me or knew something was wrong with him. Maybe had the hopes if I was in the hospital, there was a chance we could see each other. He wanted me to stay. So I do believe some of that was playing into it, and he told the doctor he wanted me to stay, felt I should stay, and so they had me stay. At that point, I started really documenting everything. I made sure about what medications I was given. I became very friendly with a lot of the nurses, asking what's going on in the hospital. A lot of the people that were there did not come in with the sickness. They came in with other things, but because they tested positive, they were treated with the same medications. Think about that. Okay. There was, I believe my husband said it, where he was, 3 or 4 people had passed away. Most of the people that I heard were V'd or jabbed and the B word after. So they had 3 jabs and they were presenting blood clots and were dying from that. I had not been jabbed, although I told them I was, because at this point I didn't want them to try to jab me. And the weird thing was, is the doctor came back because he took my blood and he said, it's very creepy. Oh, your blood, it's just very clean. It's just, nice and red and healthy. And then asked me when I was V'd, and which I told him I was like, 8 months prior. And he's like, oh, well, it apparently is wearing off. You need to be, B'd. And I'm thinking to myself, why? Because I have no clots? I mean, seriously? You guys really are trying to murder me. This is insanity. And you know what? It's going on every day in the hospital. And like I said, I'm an awake patient. I had taken at that point all my vitamins. I had been on Ivor for 2 or 3 days prior to going in the hospital, or 2 days, I think. And I had stayed on it for the 2 days I was there. I took it a total of 7 days. So, whatever I should have taken in the beginning, I probably would have been fine. But I did take it along with all my vitamins, my probiotics. I was eating and drinking like crazy because I wanted to get that REM out of my kidney that was in there for 2 days. So I was even doing yoga. I mean, I was doing whatever I could to keep myself healthy and alert. And so what happened is my husband and I were texting back and forth. I'm going to skip forward to day 4. Day 4 in the morning, he told me that his kidney, it may have been day 3 at night, day 3 or 4, that his kidney had failed, that he was having kidney problems. I believe it was day 3 that I was there. So he had already had all the treatments of the REM, and maybe it was day 7 for him. In any event, his kidney had failed. And just like I expected it would, and I didn't want to upset him, but I was like, well, they gave you their protocol, not yours. And this is something that I'd gone back and forth with text with him. And I think he had a little bit of COVID brain, C brain. He wasn't thinking that well, thinking that clear. And he said at that point that he wanted a specialist to come in and look at his kidney. So I believe he had an outside specialist. I still don't know who that doctor is. I'd like to find out who that doctor is so I could talk to them. In any event, I asked him after the specialist had come, I texted him or I called him, and he wouldn't tell me what happened. Maybe it was morning, afternoon. He just wouldn't tell me. But he did say that he was, I'm trying to think of his words, trying to stay alive or trying to survive, just trying to survive. That's what he said. And my heart sunk. And I'm like, I got to see him. This is crazy. I hadn't seen him in maybe, I don't know how long it's been, 10 days, I think. And we've both been asking for each other. And I just was really, really upset that we couldn't see each other. And that's when I spoke to one of the nurses, and she said she was going to try to get us to see each other. And I said, I don't think my husband's doing well. And then I got a text from him and said, this is it. I think those were his words. No, he didn't say. He said, do you understand? That was after I gotten off the phone call. Do you understand? And I understood. I understood that he was not going to make it. At that point, I understood. And I don't know, I had, it was really hard because, again, I walked outside my room and this nurse told me to go back in. And I said, I really want to see my husband. They're like, you can't. I'm like, this is insanity. Like, where am I? Am I like in China? Am I in where am I that this is taking place, that this is possible, that this could take place? And let me tell you something, the emails that I have been getting, oh, it's the same thing happen. These horrible things where they can't see their loved ones. I mean, in this one email I got, they literally can't be in there as their dad is dying. They have to look through glass. What? How did this happen? How did we allow this to happen? How is it we're not going over there and breaking down the doors and the windows? Come on, really? I mean, I was sick and I did my very best to try to get over there. And I will tell you, on the fifth night, about 12 o'clock at night, I woke up and I just had a really bad feeling. An hour later, a nurse runs in. She says, your husband is in the ICU and he's intubated. And I'm like, that's it, And I said, you need to bring me there. I said, you need to bring me there now. She was resisting it. I said, you don't understand. You need to bring me there. You don't bring me there, I am going to make the biggest stink that you have ever seen. I'm going to rip off all this stuff and I'm going to go over there somehow. I'm going to call people. I'm going to do whatever I can. So she got her butt and she went and got me a wheelchair. But in the time of her getting me a wheelchair to go over there, supposedly he had passed. So I never got to see him alive, and he was literally on the same floor. How is this humane? How is this possible that this is happening in the United States of America? And you know what? I am one of probably a million people this has happened to. They've lost mothers, fathers, uncles, aunts, friends, and now I'm getting emails that they've lost children. Come on, folks. I mean, they're killing children in the hospital now? I don't know. It's like, wake up. We have to do something about this. We have to do something about this. That's why I'm doing these videos. That's what keeps me up at night. People are dying every day. Where is Congress? Where is our representatives? They're all complicit. They're all part of this big pharma. They probably have stocks in this stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if 90% of the Congress has stock in this drug, REM, and big pharma. So they're not doing anything about it. And, every day people are dying. Every single day. So they finally wheel me down to see my husband, and he's already passed. And the craziest thing is, it's just me with my oxygen tank and this one nurse. And him in the room, and he's no longer alive. And she says, I take my mask off. I'm crying. I can't breathe. Oh, you have to put your mask on. I'm like, what? You have to put your mask on. I look at her. I'm like, you better get the you-know-what out of here, or I'm going to get out of my chair and do something. I said, I need to put my mask on. My husband just passed away. There's no one in the room, and I can't breathe. I said, get that. And she knew. She was gone. I was like, I mean, seriously? I mean, what is gone on with people? How is it that they have no humanity, no decency? Like, a mask is going to do what in this situation? My husband and I were in the room, just us. He passed away. A mask? I mean, has the world gone insane? Seriously insane. Anyway, I was able to say my goodbye to him. In a way, I was happy to be able to say a prayer, to just be there in that moment with him. It was very difficult. Anyway, they wheeled me back up to my room, and I sat there for hours and hours. Let me see. It was probably 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 11 hours I sat in my room. I think one person came in to bring me food, another time water, and that was it. No one came to check on me. No one came to see how I was doing. Not only did my husband just pass away, I was still in the hospital. We are talking, I don't even know how many malpractice codes or violations that is. I asked to see my son, my children. No. My friends. No. No one can see you. I said, you know what? Get me out of this hospital now. And they said, no, we have to wait till the doctor comes in to to let you go. So the doctor who killed my husband comes in, Dr. Graham. And he comes in with his mask. He doesn't have his hazmat suit on this time. I guess he realizes that I'm not contagious, but he has his mask because, you know, that's going to protect him from a person who's not contagious. Maybe I need to be protected from him. And he sits there and he says how sorry he is, not really. And then he manages to say, well, don't forget, you need to get your BOOSTER. Yeah, this is what he tells me. Anyway, finally they released me. And my kids picked me up, and it was just horrifying, a horrifying experience all the way around. And like I said, this is happening to people every day. It's happened to people for probably over a year, year and a half now. I mean, my story is one of many. The shocking thing to me is that these people knew my husband. I heard that the staff and many of the doctors who came in, a friend of his came in, that they had to close down the floor down below when he passed away because there were so many people that were upset. Not necessarily ones that were working there, but they did call in some specialists, some friends of his, some colleagues. So it was shocking. It was shocking. Like, if this can happen to him, this can happen to anyone, you know, anyone. In a hospital he worked at, a medical doctor. So anyway, for me now, I am really determined that, number one, we stop the killing going on in these hospitals. And I need all the help I can get. That's why I'm doing this video, because we need to speak up. This is happening in the United States. I mean, it's not even happening in other countries. It's happening in the United States because of this damn protocol that they have. Yeah, here. It's not happening anywhere else. So the hospitals have become a killing field, and a lot of people don't know. Millions of Americans have no idea. And if it hasn't happened to them, they don't pay attention to it. But the sad thing is, it's starting to happen to a lot of people where they've lost a friend, a relative, a parent, God forbid, a child. So it's not such an unusual thing anymore for someone to go in a hospital with the sickness and not come out. It's affected a lot of people. So I think we need to stand up, and we all need to speak up, and we all need to say our stories. And we need to do it now, and we need to stop this. And we need more people to go in front of Congress. We need more people to picket in front of the hospitals. We need people to get active. And I'm going to be a voice out there. I'm going to do the very best I can, but I need your help. I need everyone to come together and to fight back, because we cannot let another person die. And once the killing stops in the hospitals, we need to sue. We need to get together, and we need to do a huge lawsuit. A huge lawsuit where we all join in together and are compensated for what happened to us. Because a lot of people have medical bills they have to pay. A lot of people have kids and families and they have to support, and they have no income. Not only are they devastated that they may have lost a spouse, a parent, they can't work. Maybe they're sick themselves, like I was. When I got out of the hospital, I was very sick. I couldn't do anything. I did the best I could, but I was very fortunate to have my kids around and neighbors and friends. I was very fortunate, but a lot of people don't have anyone, and they don't have any money. And then they're hit with the hospital bills, and it's just an absolute travesty happening in the United States. So we need to come together. We need to help each other. We need to do a class action lawsuit, and we need to find some brave lawyers out there who will take this case. This is a huge case. We need some brave lawyers. I have called, I can't tell you how many lawyers I've called. They don't get back to me. It's really sad what's happened to our lawyers out there. So if you are a lawyer and you're watching this, or you know of someone who wants to do a class action suit, I have quite a few people's names who want to join. Again, if you have your story, please go to Abilio, Abilio, class, CLASS, action, ACTION.com. And I will drop the email, I'm sorry, at gmail.com. I will drop the email down below in the comment box so that you can go and join and tell your story. So anyway, please share this. Share this on all your social media and tell your story so that we can band together as Americans. Americans, not divided. I don't care what political party you're in. This doesn't care what political party, what race, what religion. It doesn't matter. It's affecting everyone. And as an American, that's what we need to do, is come together as Americans and help each other. We need to help each other. All right. God bless, and keep up the good fight.